Hello, everybody. How are you all doing today? I hope everybody can tune in, share my content with everybody. Mescalero needs awareness. We need accountability. As sad as it is to say, we need accountability. Today's show, you know, will cover a lot, as much as I have time for. Um, Remember, any noise that you hear in the background, I do not own rights to. None of the music, movies, any type of content you may hear, I do not own rights to. My daughter is here, but she's in her room. But if she comes out and has her content or her whatever videos that she watches going, I do not own rights to that. I am not trying to earn money. I'm not asking for this. I'm just bringing awareness to the Mescalero people in hopes to get us some help because legally we need help. We need some oversight. The funding that has gone disappeared is just, well, however you want to phrase it, it's sickening. There's absolutely no way to excuse it. I have a couple of errors to correct during this, so bear with me. Remember, as usual, I do try to start my shows all the time with Elijah Hadley because, as usual, our council has not addressed any of it. You're not even present in the hearings. You don't show, and it matters. You're sitting in in a court. We're all sitting and they're silent, but our voices are so loud because we're there. You all are paid so much to put us first, and we're last. We're last. This is a no-brainer, you all. This is not a question of, oh, should I do this? Should I go? Should I be there? Yes, you absolutely should. Today, for the Elijah Hadley portion, I wanted to go over his debate that they had in Chaparral. You can find this on Geraldine Yaza Martinez's vote for sheriff page. That was the easiest way for me to find it. When you go to that, there's a lot of talking, introduction, prayer. You're more than welcome to watch that. But if you want to get straight to the person that I am speaking about Raul Robles. Raul Robles does his introduction 10 minutes, 55 seconds into the debate in Chaparral. I do want to play this for you all because I think it's important for you all to understand who this person is. And Raul Robles, I know that you will see this. It's not a hope or maybe. I know you will. Um, you all need to understand who this person is that is running for sheriff. There are other people, all the candidates, not just for Otero, but for Doña Ana, are at the debates. Please go and listen to the other candidates. You have after Raul Robles, Todd Garrison. There's a Doña Ana County Sheriff candidate that runs. And then you have Geraldine. Geraldine is at 20 minutes, 50 seconds. Please go and listen to her introduction. You also have Cesar Ramos at 46 minutes. And after that, a question is asked about the incident, as they say, incident that is going on. And maybe they didn't say that, but this is how Robles explains it. It's an incident, a tragedy for the deputy and then the family. But anyway, Robles responds to that question at 46 minutes in. Today, I'm only going to play you Juan Robles' response or introduction and his response. This is what the meeting, and everybody can go look at this and watch it, so please do. Remember, my phone is really bad on the speaker because I dropped it in the water twice. Those are the rules. Here comes Juan Robles. His introduction starts about 10 minutes 55 seconds. This is the murder supporter. I don't really care to hear anybody clap for him. But then you also have Geraldine. Please go and watch the video. It's very important. I am going to play his response to the question regarding the murder, not the incident. However he put it, it is a murder of Elijah Hadley. It's important that people understand who this person is running for sheriff and not vote for him. He is willingly protecting a murderer, paying a murderer. lying that he has to, and he does not. Mm-hmm. I'm going to find this for 6 minutes. They get to know. So, in reference to communication community, there's a lot of moving parts. So, with the incident happened in Otero County. It's a tragedy for the deputy, for the family, for the community, everybody involved in that incident. And one of the things that I wasn't part of the whole investigation. I don't know what happened, the details, but I do know that there's a lot of moving parts. So with that, there's when something that happens, state police takes over those incidents, and we're limited on what we can have, what we can give out to the community. But with that being said, we have implemented different things. Myself being the current undersheriff, I've implemented communication with the community. One, news releases, going out doing community outreach, going out there, and in fact, I implemented a new program where we go out there and have meetings with community leaders, and we go out there and tell them what's going on. Monthly, we are in a commission meeting and we tell everybody what's going on. When we give everybody the stats, we give them everything that is happening during the Otero County Sheriff's Office and what's happening. So as an undersheriff, and I can make those changes now, which I have made those changes. I implemented those changes now so that we are able to communicate with the public regularly, every day, and anything that happens, we move forward and make sure that we feel safe by us giving them all the information that we can give them. In a case like that, we're limited to what we can give the community, but we know that it's crucial for us to give out that information as we get it. So let's continue what I started, continue where we're at now, and we will keep on moving forward with giving that information to the community so the community knows everything that Otero County is doing, and we're open-minded. We're open to any questions, anything that could happen in Otero County. So in any major incident, I've been in major incidents where we communicate with the community. We want to make sure that everybody knows that's what's happening. But as a current sheriff and if let's make sure, I will continue implementing these the communication with the public, and make sure they have all the information. Please go watch that. Pay attention to his speech both times. There's a lot of stuttering, rambling. He repeats himself. He doesn't make sense a lot of times, and that's because he's lying. There is no other way to put it. He's lying. He's trying to find things to justify paying a murderer. The importance of understanding why he is running. You need to. Counsel, you understand. You understand the importance of you being present in those meetings. In the general meeting, you all should have asked them about those court hearings and why they're paid $350 every time they appear somewhere. Why they have to be paid to appear, whether it's for our elder, our children, for our cultural events. I don't understand why you all need an appearance fee. Your salaries are not enough. Dwayne, Robert, Idella, Crystal, Clyde, Dorland, and Christy, you all are repeat council members. What is your salary yet? Because every time you come back or you repeat a term, your salary goes up. But yet we're paying you all $350 to appear and we get nothing. We get nothing. The benefits from the casino for our elderly, they're gone. You can call them benefits, I guess. A meal. And Frizzell is passing out $1,000 shopping sprees at the Stronghold. That is a fact. Everything I say can be proven in very, very simple form. Sit down with the accountants, take out those books, look at everything. The money coming in, the money going out, where it's going. The Mescalero tribe needs help. We have nobody to fight for us. If you try to fight, then you're retaliated against. That doesn't mean you stop. It just makes it a little difficult to help your people, but you don't stop. I've never read a book about our people. I've never heard my grandmother, my family talk about our ancestors, our family, just stopping. They got afraid and they just stopped. I've never heard that. I've never heard that. I don't understand why we, as Mescalero people, have become accustomed to that, to just being so complicit with what is going on, ignoring our own laws, ignoring our own children that are in need, that are in pain, that are being hurt. I talk all the time about the people that fight their addictions, understanding what is feeding that addiction. I mean, not just the actual drug, the emotion, the trauma that happened, what caused them to begin that, what lack, what neglect caused this addiction, and then I've talked about this is really hard, you all. I am so sorry. Okay. Now, I've talked about Elizabeth and Joseph Blazer. And don't get me wrong, they take really good care of their adopted children. Okay, they do. I have to give them that. I cannot say that they don't. Because these children were in need and they helped them. What I don't like and what always bothered me is, okay, the two children belong to the brother. Never was he kept from his children. He was always allowed to be involved in their lives, even when highly inebriated. I'm not sure why. The mother, not so much. I believe she just completely gave them up and all interaction with them. And that she has her reasons. Now, they also have another child from their sister, from Elizabeth's sister. I never understood, because Ardina and Elizabeth and some of the other family fought really hard to save Ardina's daughter, as we all should. I'm not saying it was wrong for them to do that. What I'm wondering is why they don't do the same for their sister, and why they keep her from her only strength. They didn't allow her to see her child. Holly Houghton has her oldest child. Holly has never kept her from her seeing her child either. Who else? Kathy has another one of her children. I don't know if they keep her. I don't believe so. But you all need to understand, our addictions of our people, how they are created, why they are started. And we need to fight more for our people. I know you guys always say, oh, you just bash the same family. You just talk about the same people, and I do. But it's because these people have brought so much destruction to our Mescalero people. Man, almost, let's say, 1 out of every 10 families is affected. No, that cannot be accurate. By drugs. That can't be accurate. How many of you deal with family members that are hanging on to their life and choosing that? There's no enforcements to strengthen them. So I need you all to understand how hard you gotta fight. You gotta stand up, and you gotta get loud. You gotta start showing our youth right now so that they don't follow that path. They don't feel that void and fill it with alcohol and drugs. There was a time in my life that I started drinking, partying. I remember telling my kids, like, don't do this. I'm just being stupid. I would tell them, I'm being stupid. I'm wasting. And eventually it clicked. You idiot, listen to yourself. I'm missing time with my children. The money I spend on alcohol, I could be spending with them, doing something with them. You don't even have to spend money to have fun. Take them to the park. Okay, so please, counsel Thora Duane, and I'm going to say Thora because Thora, I need you to listen to this because you are the president. You are also the chairman of the council. So I need someone to tag Thora. But Thora and Duane, Robert, Idella, Clyde, Crystal, Carson, Tanis, Dorlin, and Christy, you all need to listen. Tune in. Nelva. Man, Nelva, you are such a gut-wrenching disappointment. As a Mescalero Apache woman, I can honestly say that you are a gut-wrenching disappointment for us women, for us Mescalero people. You find your council members, and every time you see them, you ask them why they have not fought for Elijah Hadley and why they will not be a voice. You don't even have to say nothing. You sit silent. And you're such a powerful voice, and you refuse to. You refuse to pencil him in on your schedules. Ask them. Thora, we're going to address you and the things that you have allowed the council to do to you. From the beginning, Thora Padilla, Thora Walsh Padilla, is it? Because you are still married to my uncle, you live on that name. You were really held up with high expectation because you went and campaigned for your people. You campaigned on our Constitution and our laws, and you lied. You got in there and you lied. Your campaign words, they disappeared. They didn't mean anything. And because you just went in and willingly went along with all of the violations to our laws, they are now doing that to you. And as a president of the Mescalero Apache tribe on your second term, is it? You should know our laws. You should know what they're doing to you is wrong, just like what they did to me was wrong. You spoke to my mother and talked about it, just like Owen Little spoke to me myself. Gina Villa spoke to me myself. Dwayne Duffy, Anthony Mendez, so many council members. But as soon as they got in there, our laws meant nothing. That is why our tribe is the way it is right now. That is why we are suffering. And I can say suffering because just because you council members do not go check to check, because you council members can build you new homes whenever you feel like it. That's why I can say that. Excuse me. Now, Dora Lynn. Oh goodness, Dora Lynn. What has Thora been convicted of? What crime, misdemeanor, what has she been convicted of? According to our Constitution, you need to explain that. You know, with Eddie Martinez, you also did the same thing. Illegally removed him without any conviction of a crime or a misdemeanor. You stated that there was they paid a family member, but records show that you all signed that. Let's see. Now, Eddie, that's kind of on you because you didn't fight that either. And as the Mescalero president, you didn't understand the Constitution either. And it states that you all need to be convicted of a crime. Tria Escalante, what crime was she convicted of? When was her court hearing? Any of these people, can you tell me when their court hearing was? Because I would really like to know when their court hearing was. It's not hard to see, to understand, to read. It's not how. Now, Nelva's big thing with our laws, our Constitution, it's how she reads them, how she interprets them, how she wants to understand them, how she wants to twist them. But that's not how it's supposed to be. The laws are simple. If we followed them, we wouldn't be here. If we never strayed from them and didn't allow for such huge violations to our laws, we wouldn't be here. Hold on, my cat is crying. Anyway, so at any time, all of you council members that have signed these illegal removals, impeachments, produce a charge, a court order showing that they were found guilty. The same with Tria Escalante. The same with myself. Show the court order that I violated an actual law and I didn't just put fear into Nelva and Gabe and Dorothy broke a law. Council, all of you council members, do any of you know your oath? Do any of you know your Constitution? Because you took an oath saying that you do, that you'll uphold it, but You haven't upheld it, including you, Thora. You stepped into a seat that already had violations to the Constitution. Mine, in particular, I didn't even understand because we don't even have what they did to me in our Constitution. The complete illegality of what Nelva did, what Gabe and Dorlin did, you didn't attempt to address it or fix it. And that's why you're in this position. You went along with violation after violation after violation. Um, do you counsel understand that for Dorlin and Nelva, and even now for Gabe, you are violating our Constitution? You know that as soon as this happens, that once Thora is removed, the open seat is up to Dwayne or them to put in. Who do you think will be put in? The great and noble crook, the great noble rapist, however you want to call him, Gabe Aguilar. Why do you think they need Gabe back in? We'll be getting more funding here soon for housing. Melanie Stansberry is fighting a lot for a huge amount of money to help the Mescalero people in their housing crisis. We've been in a housing crisis for how many years now? How many years? Putting back a crook who has taken all of our money, do you think that that is going to help our housing issues? I don't think so. But you all need to understand what is taking place here. What the council is participating in is illegal to our Constitution. It is violating not just Thora's rights, but ours. And Thora, for now, I am going to speak as if you are proven to be Mescalero, because that still needs to be proven. Just claiming a family isn't enough. You need to explain how you get to that family, and most people are really proud to do that. Let me see. You know, during the general meeting, Thora had told Dorlin that, and I have to make corrections to some of the things that I said about the general meeting. But Thora had said that Dorlin was doing all of that for a show. And she was. During the last general meeting, she did the same thing. The same thing was brought up, or another issue came up, and our general meetings are being used to create that validity, I guess, your reasoning for removing a voted in president. That's what you're using our general. Is that why you finally gave us a general meeting? Because you needed to get rid of Thora? Because I know you all are trying to get rid of her. Thora's got other plans. You all always knew Thora was big on nepotism. Even before this role at the RMP, you can go back and look at all of the unqualified family that she has employed. Sorry, not sorry. I also had mentioned that Frizzell hobbled into the meeting. I was wrong. It was for Euphrasia that hobbled in with those lying numbers. Euphrasia, you once hobbled out with a letter and you gave it to a tribal member, signed by Butch Blazer, by Arthur Butch Blazer, a white man. That is where our tribe's illegal acts began, where the violations to our Constitution and to our people began, allowing a non-tribal member to lead us, to be labeled as president. But Euphrasia hobbled out and handed a letter to tribal members, to a tribal member mother, telling her that her son was I don't know, 1/15 or something off. But on the letter you have Butch Blazer's signature, and Butch Blazer is not a tribal member. There's no blood. And Arthur Blazer, I know you watch my content because I remove you a lot from the people you may know, and I'm not the one searching you. I don't care where you're rotting right now. My goal is that soon you will be rotting behind bars, not living off of the Mescalero Apache people's name like you have done your entire life. Allowing them to pass out papers to tribal members and tell them that while enrolling his grandchildren was wrong. Excuse me, I do think I'm catching a cold. Euphrasia is just as guilty. All of you, my point today is all of you council members that are just willingly sitting there, even when you say, oh, I didn't know, we just signed it. They just put papers in front of us and we just signed them. You're guilty. By stupidity or laziness, I guess. Because you should be reading everything that goes in front of you regarding your Mescalero people and their money. Everything should be read and understood. And if you don't understand it, that's when Nelva comes in and she should be telling you legally what is right. But that is where Butch comes in again, by bringing in Nelva and teaching her his illegal ways, because that's exactly what happened. Nelva got busy in no time with completely destroying our laws, fighting against our people for our money, her own people for money. I was told that Thora did qualifications of Miss Annabelle Gallegos, I believe. The council should stand up and explain the qualifications for all of their picks. You know, I've brought up a lot of people that have been hired with 0 qualifications. I believe Annabelle was at the stables. There's a good point. There's a good example. Who did she take place of? Silk. The reports of him being put in charge over there was he had no idea what he was doing. His family was assisting him to ensure that he's able to keep the job. That's just one. There are hundreds of examples that the council should have stood up and explained their qualifications. These general meetings are not for the council to use against the people. The agenda, the little paper y'all put out for everybody to follow, the one that violates our rights. Dorlin, you violated that yourself. Man Council, you're not fighting for your people at all. When Gabe was in office before, how did they initiate Eddie Martinez's removal? Eddie Martinez went to Melissa Chavez to file against Gabe Aguilar for slander, which probably would have ended in removing Gabe. Nelva and Dorlin couldn't have that, and neither could Melissa. Another tribal member, an elder, went and also filed on Gabe, and they turned around and filed on him. I know you all like message me and stuff. I have a lot of questions regarding Arthur Butch Blazer. We can go into detail about that on another show, I guess, because that's a long show, but it's not hard to see the evidence. And this is the family that Robert A. Gabe Aguilar comes from. Melissa failed to follow our Constitution. She failed to follow her role as a tribal prosecutor, her oath as a tribal prosecutor. Thora, you mentioned that you had gone to the court recently and had seen many violations left and right to our people. That's no surprise. We've been talking about it for years. I was a legal advocate before being illegally disenrolled. I was disbarred because of the arguing and the fighting I did against these judges and their illegal rulings. Nelva could not have me fighting anymore. The fear I put in Nelva is I don't understand it. I just don't. But anyway, I find that interesting that you started to look into the all of the illegal things that were being done to our people, the wrong that was committed to our people in that court, and now you're suspended. But counsel, you all need to pay attention. I'm not sure if any investigations are going to be conducted, but they should. Sherry Kaiji Garcia, somebody tag her because she, as our superintendent, is also neglecting our needs. Before being disenrolled and disbarred illegally, everything, the political violence that I have went against is, I could speak for hours on. I was a legal advocate and I was reached out to by a tribal member, and I don't even know if I can call it an issue because this is terrifying. As a mother, I cannot even imagine. As I mentioned in my last video, and I know I had to separate my videos because of some issues that had come up. But in the second video, I mentioned and I read letters. One from this to come out for many reasons. For many, many reasons. It takes a lot to do it. I also read posts, not letters, but posts from just trying to, I don't know if y'all could see that or not, but I was just, my site shows I'm not connected sometimes, so I just wait. Um, but I was asked for assistance from a mother who had huge fear for her children. And I'm going to try to get through this as best I can. Um, and I didn't do notes. I'm just reading this straight from our messages because it's a lot. It is a lot. And this goes all the way back to December of 2021. Ever since my mom, and her mother is Melissa Chavez. Melissa Chavez is the tribal prosecutor who has failed us. But ever since my mom figured out how furious my family member and I were at the overall custody situation going on this long, and that my babies were getting bruises. Well, my family member and I have not heard not one word from my mom or seen them or my kids at all because they were confronted by Michelle. Michelle Palmer is the tribe's representative for BIA, I believe, and she is Mariah's aunt. She is Melissa Chavez's sister. And I'd just like to make it clear for all the people that are not from the tribe so they understand the picture. Confronted by Michelle, and of course, all was denied. But if that was the case and all was well, why not continue the way things were, especially knowing that they want to see me and my family member, especially around Christmas. Being my son's 10th birthday was on the 24th, nothing. No call, no visit, nothing. I'm worried about my kids and I can feel them every day since I've no longer been able to see them so suddenly. I'm losing my patience as to my mom having full control and her being completely out of control and thinking her way is the untouchable. That is exactly how Nelva and Gabe and Dorlin run our tribe. And now all of you new council members that have come in since, you're allowing it. So you are just as complicit. You are just as guilty. I know and feel my babies are not only being bullied and abused, but they are scared and crying. I cannot bear that in heart knowing someone is hurting my babies for their pleasure. I'm so broken and angry that my kids are just there, not knowing if I'm doing anything to help. I want to scream so bad. My mother and her husband is Theodore Chavez. He works out, I believe, at the Mescalero Cow Camp. I'm sorry, you all. My mother and her husband make me and my family members so sick. And then there's messages, I try to meet with her to help her in court, but we never could meet at that time. I did suggest to her to drop off a paper, her legal representation paper at that time. She didn't feel comfortable doing that, knowing her mother's power in that court, knowing the abuse that her mother can do and get away with in that court. And she was not wrong. Melissa Chavez should truly be suspended and investigated for all of the violations, not just to our people, but to our Constitution, using our Constitution against our people. So so viciously. And that's just talking about that. This isn't even involving what she's done to her own child. I am sorry I don't wait to do that with y'all, but like y'all seen. Let me see. The messages go on for a while, trying to get help in the court, and we couldn't get anything. January 2nd of 2022, I know my mom isn't thinking as far ahead as I am, but I know I'll probably hear from her and my kids, although probably supervised. So they don't tell a word of what's been going on. But this weekend, I'm betting is when I'll see them after healing. And then I received just some facts about bruising, how long it takes for them to go away. So my family let me see, this is on January 6th. So my family and my family member and I have been up and down every direction of stress and worrying. In the beginning, when we became known of these bruises my kids had given much thought, we came to the same conclusion in saying that confronting them in an appropriate way was very smart, civil, and professional, but bold to say the least. Being that I made of the situation on the spot in concern is where our better thoughts of feelings like is straightened out. My mom and Ted in somewhat good fear and hopefully a sudden wake-up call in realizing that these babies are not biologically theirs and that it is more than mandatory to handle them with utmost proper care and love, and that their ways of discipline may be right for their house, but not for kids that aren't theirs, especially to that measure of being bruised, actual bruising. So that said, I've had to give this all thought in every aspect, which is always difficult. And what I've come to realize that even though the history between my mother and her husband and I is very sad and unfortunate, it matters to see I've had to lose and even still without. I know it's not fair for me, but this bullet was tough to bite to say that my children's well-being as is just they have individual rooms, a roof over their heads. I don't have any of that for them. I don't have vehicles. I did it numerous times and lost it all over and over due to my mom's consistent hell-raising time on me to protect her and her husband. Her and Gabe have been working against me in full force and doing very good at it, say the very least. So I'm the bottom of the barrel and forever end of the line for any type of help to place me on land or have a trailer. I have lost my job because of her, and now I'm still completely without it. Sucks, but I'm positive. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Excuse me. I wanted her to do anything possible to make sure she thinks about everything that she does for them. And I understood her battle and her fear, her fight. Melissa Chavez is a demon pastor, a demon ordained, online ordained minister, and you are, Melissa. You don't like it? You let me know. I'll come tell you to your face wherever you want. I've stood in the house and watched as the married man that you were adulterating with, his wife busted out your tires. That is why you had to be ordained online. You're just an old whore, and now you've been given power. Tribal council, for you to sit there and ignore this, it's sickening. It is sickening because these are not just bullshit. These are things that can be proven, investigated. Not by Robin. God, not by Robin. Robin has been failing our children for how many years now? Darlin, how long ago did you have you and your husband? When did you sit there and beg to have that position created for her? That nitwit, that loose victim's advocate. That's all we're sitting here listening to, not the help she's doing, but who she's loose for. Our people are in need and we're stuck with her. BIA doesn't want to look into anything because they're sitting there too close to them. Their relationship is too close to our people that are in charge of all of this, protecting us, and they're not. Hey Val, just a heads up. This is January 23rd. We were all of a sudden invited to my daughter's birthday party. Her birthday isn't until tomorrow. It is at 6. I'm all emotional the closer I get to being there. And I feel angry about it all. I hate that everyone in my family just goes along with it. And I'm told to not be like that, or that it's not nice, or well, me not heard at all. My ears are like burning hot. I literally want to tear my mom up. How dare I be invited? She's good at starting shit at whoever's dinner, parties, birthdays. It don't matter. She'll ruin whoever's time and see that she turns victim quick. And next thing you know, there I go to jail and her snatching up my babies. I feel set up everywhere. Sorry. I'm just letting you know in case I do go to jail. I don't even have to do anything. She'll be the one on the phone ranting or taking video of me saying shit. I'm all crying still in bed because nobody except you understands the difficulty in my loss and feelings toward all of this chaos. Thank you for all you do. My baby is nursing and don't take formula, so if I do end up doing a couple of days, I hope she'll be okay. And none of that will matter to Melissa. None of it. She'd probably turn around and file neglect. It's driving me crazy. I don't know where we live. I want my kids, Val, and this is on the 23rd. I believe that's still the same date. And how would I pay for it? See, my mom and them got me good. I'm so upset. I'm home with my 6-month-old. I'm nursing even still. My family member sides with her and says the dumbest shit ever as to why it's not a good idea to work. I had a job before all of this and my mom messed that up. I need help. Let me see. I talked to her about being independent, getting that set up. She said I need help to do all that. I've tried asking Gabe for years to help me through all this. So back in 2014, what he'd do, he managed to help his nephew, Josh Davis, with the FEMA trailer because me and my kids were supposed to live there. Me and my kids' money went into the trailer with Josh, and even though him and I are civil now, he still has the trailer, and my kids and I have nothing. That doesn't surprise me. We have a newly remodeled home, 4-bedroom, and we allow for Josh Davis's non-tribal father to live in it. And I understand we have laws that you actually want to follow that pertain to our affiliates, but you could move him to a home that fits his size. Better yet, you could tell him to just go get his own home until we can put our own people in homes, and then we'll come back to him when we can do that. The green trailer above my grandma's, I was paying for, and when my mom kicked me off the res after all the money I put into the shitter, they immediately moved my brother in, and he don't pay a dime till I showed up. Now he's paying his electric. Then I heard that Michelle is giving him land for a trailer he got all of a sudden. I know my mom got him one with my kids' money, just like she did hers and her vehicles. F them all, she said. I should have seen it coming. We're not even going to daughter's party. I think that's what it means. Why? Because my grandma is afraid of the snow and says it's too much. And she just feels like fuck everyone. She felt that her mom planned it that way. I told my brother Ian and my sister that I had gifts for my kids since before Christmas, that they are in the hallway and whoever can just pick them up, because God forbid I see my kids in their eyes for whatever fucking reason. My heart hurts too much to be here. Like, I just want to die in times like this. On January 25th of 22, she put, "It was good to see my kids. It was weird and very supervised, but we made the most of every second and blocked everyone out. Ted stayed distant, and my grams stayed close. It was good. I'm looking into grants and some types of housing." I'm going to stop with her messages there, but I am going to go and read, I believe, her comment or her post. Let me see if I can find it. Thank you so much, Val, for sharing my wife's truth. I know it's hard. People, let alone her own mother and her husband, don't see what I do in her heavy times of depression, anxiety, isolation, anger, sadness. She talks to me a lot and I hear her. She's gotten better, but the absence of her kids is what is unbearable most days. I love her very much. I'm here and I'm going to stand with her every inch of the way. We have a daughter who God has a mighty hand on. Rainy is her name. She's 4, and none of this is fair to her either. And he is absolutely correct, because that child is missing out. On my video, she also commented there, she's a spiritual narcissist, one of the most evil types of narcissists. Might I add, just because someone can quote scripture for the lack of knowledge. Every single judge I stood before were helping my mom. No matter what, I end up held in contempt. Leonard Kaneswa, Jennifer Byers, Harrison Toklani, Hazel They didn't help to hear my cases, but made a fool of me, and I got my heart and soul ripped out when they took my children just because they didn't want to take accountability. Gabe was in office when I had no choice but to leave. I cried out to Gabe, but I didn't know him and my mom were Go Team. Maybe I did. My little baby girl, Angel, was born May 9th. She passed on May 16th of 2018. During that time, I was in the sickest grief. My mom came and yelled, "You're still crying? Cry it out already. Pray." That October, she retaliated against my confidence of threatening her outside the court that her and Ted aren't going to control me or my kids anymore, that I was going to tell everything. The public defender, who was everything I needed, was more than supportive and not afraid of my mom. That lady was a white lady, and I believe her name started with a D. She knew it was going to get ugly and told me to stay low until she calls. She no longer works there, and I never heard from her again. All my papers to take my children were frauded. I have proof of how Mescalero Apache Tribal Child Support Enforcement did me dirty. I have proof of everything. My children should be with me. False profit, frauded paperwork, nothing is legit. I was gone for 4 years when I literally had all units after me and 14 guns drawn to my face. My mom wanted me dead. In those 4 years, I don't know what she told everyone, but I can't be quiet about this anymore. Where was my missing person flyers? It is truly sickening as a mother to read this and to know that those children have no business around Ted Chavez or Melissa. That Melissa Chavez is just as disgusting and as guilty as Ted. To sit there and pray over her, to pray over her daughter after she told her that her husband just violated her in the most indescribable ways for how many years? When I say that Nelva, Dorlin, Gabe have intention for what they're doing to Thora, I mean it. And this is part of it. We are protecting their drug dealer family. All of them are their family, drug dealers. Luke and Lorenzo Sainz, direct relation to Gabe Aguilar. Joseph Blazer, direct relation to Gabe Aguilar. Rodney Pena, the ex-diddler of Robin, I don't know how you want to put that, and now a church brother to them all. There's intention. We protected and continue to protect Robin Aguilar's family, Lauren Galarito, for what he did to the 13-year-old that he molested. We protected Gabe Aguilar's cousin, Devern Torres, for how many years? Until he was finally, what is your word, Melissa, adjudicated? We protect Alan Kurgan. Alan Kurgan continues every day, I'm sure every week, to violate women, not just our women, but our employees, whether they're tribal or not. He also violates our customers, whether they're tribal or not. Why, Mescalero, do we protect so many disgusting people, so many harmful people? Would you leave your children with these people? I wanted to talk about the roads department before I end. I know that the other day I had talked a lot, but Chris Little's over here really trying to fix his name, correct it, undo what he has done. Excuse me. I do try to remember everything. I will address it. But I don't know why all of a sudden, Chris, you're trying to fix your name. And if you really want to fix it, then show the resolution. If you didn't do that, show the resolution. If you're not a thief, a crook, show the resolution. Because everything that you have done and are currently doing says that you are a crook. And why our council continues to put you there, and who is in charge of you now? Carson, Doe, Tanis, and Christy. This is your program that you oversee. Chris Little, you took the budget from the mechanic. You harassed him. You had Lorenzo picking up the parts for him because for some reason he was more qualified. Where was his certificate, his qualifications, other than making meth in our bathtubs and passing it out to our people? Where were his qualifications? His CDL that we probably paid for? Not allowed to come back. The mechanic wasn't allowed to come back after surgery as light duty. Doctor's notes weren't good enough. The Burma boy that is now there is not a mechanic, not certified. Lorenzo is not a mechanic, not certified, just a certified drug dealer, freeloader off of Mescalero. Neville and Chris Valdez are legally handicapped, got rid of them. Chris Little followed and harassed Neville while Neville was still employed, ignored Chris Valdez. During this time, his whole intimidation fight with Neville, he purchased a trash truck for twice as much through a company that they don't normally work with, when it was already all set up for a trash truck to come in, saving us money with a company that we already currently worked with. Man, the things coming in. Neville and Chris, I hope you all listen to my videos. You all have a lot, a good case against these people. The violations to you alone. Chris Valdez received his handicap through the tribe. He was employed on the clock, and nothing was done for him. He lost limbs because of it. Who approved this, Laura? Blue, HR, nobody listened to these people. Chris gets in Blue's truck all the time at lunch. They pull up to the tribal store. I feel like every time I get gas, they're at the store. I don't know. But I was reminded, do you all remember late old man Hiles? When he was up there, that shop was running. You could take in your big trucks, get them fixed. He knew what he was doing. He had qualified, certified people in there, and now we're stuck with Lorenzo's side of the road trucks over there by the rodeo grounds. Can't get nothing fixed. How many trucks? You all should have asked that in the general meeting. How many of our trucks are just parked unfixed? Because I'm sorry, whoever this Burma boy is that you're mentioned, but you don't qualify for that position. You are not fixing those trucks. I'm talking about the roads department a lot because we have fire season among us, and during our first fire, roads already failed us. Ashley Davis should be able to be out there. She should not be able, she should be out there ordering, doing what she needs to do to get that fire attended to by those dozers, by the water tenders, everything. Hoyt, let me see. You have people that are working for the sewer that do not have their shots. And I don't know if you all understand, but working with sewer like that, you need to have a lot of shots in place to handle that type of stuff for your own health purposes, your own health, you know. Hoyt, you're paid a lot of money. You drive around an F-250 brand new. I don't know why. And you're not even protecting your people either. Chris Little, maybe you can explain the purpose of all these F-250s and what it does for our people. If these people aren't even out there at the fires getting it done. Shanta, I don't know your position or your role there, but you should not be sitting on the clock doing your makeup in the parking lot for hours on end. My teenage daughter is very very good at this. She knows the responsibility. If you want to do makeup, then you better plan accordingly because we're not going to be late to anything because you're doing makeup. We don't pay you to do makeup. Y'all really need to get onto this roads department and get people in there that know what they're doing and not these resolution thieves failing our departments. It is fire season and we need roads department to be going. Not going into Chris's pocket, not going into Chris's driveway. Who the heck knows? I know that there's a lot I left out, but I cannot carry on. I have to stop. And I think it's good for me to stop. You know, there's a lot of times you have to look at the things that you're listening to, that you're feeling, you know, and take care of yourself. You know, don't get overwhelmed. And I will put that when I share my video that, you know, this content shouldn't be taken lightly. Please don't allow your children to listen to this. When you seek counsel, ask them why we continue to protect this behavior, to allow our people to be hurt this way, our children to be violated in such disgusting ways. Ask if an investigation is going to be opened into Melissa and Ted Chavez. Remove Melissa Chavez. You should have started with that, Dorlin. But she's on your side protecting all these pedophiles. And I understand, from a fornicator to an adulterer, you're perfectly fine protecting them. And if I'm lying, then good grief, tell your daughter who her father is. Please forgive me if I left things out. I am not sure when I will do another video for Mariah. It'll be maybe a day or two. I need a little time to look at some things, but you can always message me if you have concerns and we'll address them. I'm not here to, hopefully my content's gonna go big and I'm going to make some money from this and live great. And no, I do want my content to go far, but I want it to reach the right ears. I want our people to get help. There's no way that our tribe can hide anything with investigations that don't involve the people involved. You got to get investigators that are not involved. Please share my content. Fight for your speak up. Use your voice. Your voice has so much power. Elijah Hadley may be with our ancestors and may be watching over us, but he still needs justice. He still needs our voice.